Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Dojo Live Recap Show. It is Monday, December 7th, 2020. I'm Tulio Siragusa, broadcasting from Southern California, and I'm joined by my co host, Carlos Ponce in Cuernavaca, Mexico. Hey, Carlos, welcome back.
Thank you, Tulio.
It's Monday, and as usual, we recap last week's shows inside of 10 minutes, folks. That's it. So we only had two shows last week, so we should have no problem getting it done inside of 10 minutes. But needless to say, they were awesome shows. Both were centered around AI for different uses. The first show we had was about how AI can empower us to make decisions rather than choose for us. That was with Michael Hayes, who's the CEO and founder of Plant Jammer. And then we also had
Michael
Empowering
Huss.
the Doc. Michael Huss.
Huss.
Huss. Yes.
Huss.
Empowering the doctor patient engagement with AI. That was with Mark Polimeni, who's the CEO and founder of ChartDoc. I like both shows. The first one with Michael was interesting, really about assisting people to go back to cooking for a number of reasons. One, it's sustainable. Two, it's a healthy way of living, and it can reduce waste, right? So one of the things that I liked about it is that there's a lot of applications out there that will give you recipes and menus and things like that to work with to cook a meal. But what these guys actually do is they assist you by working with you to basically come up with your own ingredients and cook plan based on your desired outcome or specific diet that you wish to follow. And so they've created an application that has gamified the process of cooking and makes it fun. So you actually participate in the process, you're in charge of the process, and the hypothesis is that this will help people feel more in control of what they're cooking, what they're putting in their body, by actually having a platform that assists rather than, hey, just follow these directions. So I really like that. If you've missed that, I encourage you to check it out, and definitely check out the application Plant Jammer. The other one was with Mark Polimene, which was about um, using AI as a way to enable the doctor-patient relationship and engagement, and specifically about what I like to equate the Dropbox of healthcare, right? So if you're a practitioner, you can basically deploy ChartDoc as a way to document every single instance, health instance for your patient, and the patient gets to participate in this and has a visual 3D view of each situation. They have the whole body anatomy in a 3D view, and then you could see, okay, I have whatever it is, a gastrointestinal infection. You could actually see that where it is, and you get an explanation of what it is, what causes it. So it creates interaction with the patient, but also becomes your record as a patient that you have access to, and anyone that's dealing with you, whether you're going to the doctor or to the hospital or traveling, can have access to, which eliminates a lot of errors and problems that occur because of lack of communication. Really like both shows, both companies, what they stand for. What about you, Carlos? What stood out for you?
Yeah, well, definitely the one, because I'm a food enthusiast and a health enthusiast at the same time. The one that with Michael Haas was the one that, from those two, I have to confess, and I gotta admit, that was more appealing to me for a number of reasons. One is the AI component, that the ever-present AI these in this day and age, and how it permeated even such subjective, let's call them like that, aspects or verticals and spaces like the food industry, or like or like cooking. I'm not going to say the food industry, because it's not about the food industry, it's about cooking. So, and the way that this possibility has reached the individual, the person who is enthused about these things, about cooking, about health, but also, I remember that during the conversation with Michael, the thing that definitely got me intrigued, to say the least, was, I mean, in the growth part of the platform, how they were going to be dealing with challenges that might occur organically, like, for example, the cultural aspects of choosing the right ingredients, or, for example, if are the same rules going to apply in Denmark versus Mexico or Canada or Japan? Yeah, so all these nuances that might come into play when growing in the growth stage, and how users are going to adapt to it. So that's one of the things that I really look forward to learning more about, is how they're going to overcome these challenges when the growth stage reaches that point. And then regarding the other one, the one we had with CharDoc, well, it was rather scientific from my end, and for me, being a regular street level kind of guy in these matters, well, I don't have a lot to say other than the fact that, when I do know that from the science standpoint, how the technology is going to be able to allow communication with the patient in a way that the patient can actually understand, and make everything, let's call it, flow smoother. I don't know how to put it, because I was like, what's the doctor talking about? I mean, please, can you talk like normal, round of the mill layman's term for me? But that's my confession, Tulio. This time it really got me. That one really got me. I'm yet to look at it like maybe once or twice again, so I can fully understand it. So maybe it'll provide a better standpoint from us mortals. So that's what I can tell you, Tulio.
Well, look, I think their first version coming out on the 15th is more toward the practitioners, so that they can have access to the data necessary to better serve the patient. But the possibility for it is greater than that, because it essentially introduces this idea that I can have a portable documentation of my entire health history, and I can have, through this portal, insights and information that is presented in layman's terms. At least that is one of the intention. But I think the biggest implication, I think the thing that excites me the most about it, is this idea of collaboration. Because they've created a secure environment that can strip away the patient's personal data, but still share the symptoms and the outcomes based on treatments, that could enable collaboration across hundreds of thousands of cases, if not more, for doctors and researchers to utilize that information to get smarter about which treatments work based on what type of individual, whether it's blood type or type of morbidities they have. So I'm encouraged by this idea that the more we create these kinds of technologies that still respect the privacy of the patient, but enables the practitioners and researchers to learn how to better serve us all, our healthcare, there's possibilities for improvements in not only therapeutics, but also findings for cures. So I'm encouraged by this idea that we're going in that direction, which is something we couldn't do years ago because of the lack of technology. Everything was siloed, right? Your relationship with your personal doctor was very personal, and there was plenty of lessons that he or she learned that weren't easily shared with other practitioners, that could be enabled by a technology like this. So we're up on time almost. What do we got coming up this week, Carlos?
3 shows, Tulio, 3 shows, and they're all very diverse in topics. Number one, tomorrow we're going to be speaking with Sue Ellen McFarling, the COO of Leonardo 247, and the topic is remote property management in a COVID-19 world. This is, of course, a real estate management platform. And then on Wednesday, we are going to be speaking with Nick Jordan, the founder of Narrative, that's the name of the company, about data streaming and the end of the data broker model. And finally, on Thursday, we'll be speaking with John Saby, from the CTO of ProCep. And the topic will be innovation driving advancements in oil and gas processing. So as you can see, they're all very diverse, but nonetheless extremely interesting and relevant for this day and age. And I look forward to those right here on Dojo Live, 1 p.m. Pacific.
See you all back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific. Stay safe.
Stay safe.